Hey everybody, this is here Michael. I'm sitting here at our weekly Sokol Indo gathering together here in Duarte, behind the Duarte Inn, and this is a place. Hey, look, there's another Sokol Indo. Are you coming to the Hans Festival tomorrow?
Nee, het is moeilijk, you know, with a wheelchair and so. En mijn nichtje die komt hier.
Dan moet je meenemen, toch?
No, I know, I travel with a wheelchair. While the Indos are in the grass, it's really hard.
But there is a big
yeah, but then we
thing.
sit by ourselves.
But you
All
can.
my family is sitting in the grass and so, you know. So we stopped going. She doesn't want to go out. En mijn nichtje komt anyways.
Oké.
So,
En die zus van jou, komt ze ook?
die nog in Holland.
Oké.
She just came back from Sri Lanka. I know that too, but with a wheelchair,
Oh ja.
it's a joke.
Alright.
Moeilijk.
Yeah.
Dat is goed.
It was good to see you. I just came
Likewise.
to give you a hug.
Oké.
Good, yeah.
Doei. Bye.
Doei.
So see, this is what's happening over here, you know. But anyhow, I'm here with, and you'll know him on Facebook. That's Indo Bröker or Bröker.
Yep.
I'm gonna give the word to him, okay? Very interesting story for all of you who are interested in our beautiful Indo heritage. And here he is, Karel or Manneke. Here he is.
Ja, hier ben ik. Graag would like to express my biography, starting with my birth, being in a Japanese camp in Batu, the county of Malang and the island of Java. In 1945, when the Japs lost the war, they changed guards at the camp, and the Japanese flag came down and the Indonesian flag went up, and the guards were changed by the Indonesian rebels, which we called in those days the Merdeka soldiers. We didn't get freed from the camp until 1948 by the Dutch and British commandos, and then in 49 we actually got to live in a real house in Bandung, right across from the airfield there, military airfield. And then in 1950 we finally got escorted out of the then called Dutch East Indies, who then became actually Indonesia in 1950 when they got their independence from the Dutch government. We got to leave on military ships to go to Holland, to our new home.
Question: when Japan capitalized, were you guys? I mean, you guys were in the prison camp, of course, and then Japan surrendered. The guards back then, were those the Pemudans, the young Indonesian nationalists, or were those the same Japanese guards? Or just to clarify that.
The young Indonesian, what we then as the Dutch called the Indonesian rebels.
Okay, good,
Yeah.
perfect.
So they took over the camp and guarded the camp and then raised their flag, the red and white Indonesian flag.
Until the British and the Dutch
Commandos that freed us in 1948.
got it. Perfect.
So then we went to Holland, and I remember real good because I became 6 years old in October of 1950. We came to Holland, and there we started our life. My mother was sick, she had tuberculosis. I never got to see my mother since 1955 when she came out of the hospital free of the tuberculosis. But in the meantime, we moved 10 times in Holland from 1950 to 1960. Different towns, as a child with different families, with different aunties and uncles, starting out in Maastricht, Valkenswaard, Eindhoven, Valkenburg, Den Haag, Bloemendaal, Vogelenzang in het kindertehuis, and then back to Valkenswaard in our first house, our first home, and my mom came out of the hospital and was on actually being a mother for us of 8 kids. We lost 2 kids in the Japanese war, so 8 of us survived and came to Holland. I kind of jumped back and forth, it was kind of hard. So anyways, our last town in the Netherlands was Bussum, about 40 kilometers south of Amsterdam. And we went to the United States. The Bishop of Denver sponsored my family. We arrived in Denver in July of 1960. And I couldn't go to school, I was 16 years old, I had to help make money, so we all ended up washing dishes, my brothers and sisters and my dad, in the Brown Palace and the Denver Hilton Hotel. So when I got my draft notice, I actually was happy because I got to get out of the rut of washing dishes every day at 16, 17, 18 years old. And back and forth, wash dishes, go home, eat, go sleep and go back to work every day. No car, on the bus, a typical immigrant type kind of status, no monies, etc., etc. So when I got drafted, that was a good thing. I became an infantryman, went to the Army Jump School in Fort Benning, became a paratrooper assigned to the 101st Airborne Division, Fort Campbell, Kentucky. I was there for 3 years and then was sent to Vietnam. In the meantime, I was also retrained from infantry to be a combat medic because they were short of combat medics. So that's predominantly what I did in Vietnam, putting all these wounded guys and dead guys on helicopters and hopefully they survive. I was a tunnel rat. I had to get the wounded guys out of the tunnels, and there's where my PTSD is mostly from. The fact that I had their blood and their pieces of meat of their body on me, and then once I got them out of the tunnel, we put them on helicopters, and then we continue our mission, or S&D we call that, Search and Destroy mission. In the meantime, I still had all these pieces of meat and blood on me until we get to the next river, and finally was able to wash it all off. And then we go right back into the jungles and rice paddies until we get home to the base and get a real shower. So I did that for 18 months and then assigned to Germany, where I was lucky to become a military police. I finished my Army career, 20 years of it, 15 years in the military police corps. I ended up doing a lot of undercover work, narcotics and all that, and because I speak Dutch, German, I was deeply involved in working undercover for the military to catch the military, going to Holland, getting all these drugs and bringing it back to the bases in Germany. And I continued that career, going back into in the military bases in CONUS in America, Fort Bragg, Schofield Barracks, Hawaii. Having the experience to work with narcotics, that's mainly what I did until I retired in 1983. Then joined the civilian police in Aurora, Colorado. Did 20 years in Colorado as a policeman. Did everything, SWAT, motor officer, detective, you name it. Became chief of police of a small town near Breckenridge, the town of Fairplay. That was a good deal, but I didn't like to get snowed in the mountains. So we decided to go to Las Vegas in 2003, and that's where we currently live. And now I'm fully retired, did 10 years with the police department in Vegas, and retired in 2014. And I'm fully retired now. Enjoying life, I do everything all over again. Thank you.
Amazing story. And one more thing, what do Indos have in common with Hawaii?
Tropical area and the foods.
And the dances.
And the dances.
And where did you meet your wife?
I met my wife when I was being retrained to be a combat medic at the Brooks Army Medical Center, Army base in San Antonio, Texas. She was also in the armies. We were both privates, and she was the one that drew my blood. She was a laboratory tech, and it was love at first sight. We're still together, 52 years now, and still going strong.
See, it does exist. Thank you for watching us, and keep on following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So-called Indos. Bye.